Hello? Well, I suppose I'm the only one here today. Um, uh, well, as it is, today we were supposed to talk about a changing world, I suppose, yes. Um, but as it is just me, I suppose I'll just talk to me and me alone. Sort of a back and forth kind of thing. I hope this might be helpful to somebody. Um, uh, so, we have 2A, changing languages. And it's an interesting little thing. I guess I'm going to make this like a little vlog. I hope it's saved and people can see it. But if anybody wants to join me later, they're always welcome to do so and say hi. I think I've checked and made sure I invited everybody. But anyway, all right. Uh, So we've got a quote. We've got a quote. Americans who travel abroad for the first time are often shocked to discover that many foreign people still speak in their foreign languages. Yeah, that's actually interesting. Um, uh, an interesting fact about America, though, is that, well, I'm not sure of this now, but I actually saw it somewhere in one of the students' book that America, as of 2015, did not have an official language. Everybody who came to America was sort of just well, they just had to take an examination in English to get a citizenship or to get like a residence permit or something. But there was no official language. And actually, in America, currently at the moment, not all 100% of Americans actually speak English. Um, uh, and funny enough, though, for the British, though, the English that the Americans speak is a little funny. Yeah, until you go to Scotland and Ireland, and then you wonder whose languages are there. It's really funny. But as I always tell my students there, that the closer you are to the dictionary pronunciation of either British or American English, you should be more than fine. All right. Or if you want to take it a step further, you can choose your favorite actor or a favorite accent you like. Well, depending on the people you work with, I suppose. If you're working with people, then you should well, learn an accent that they are common to. So if you like British accent, but you work with Americans, then you sort of have to do a lot of American listenings to get comfortable with them. Um, uh, but yeah, um, so English, as we know it, is a language that is made up of a lot of different halves, a lot of different origins. Okay, and sometimes it's bewildering for students. It's mind-boggling for students the way spelling works in English. Actually, interestingly, uh, because of the inherited, because of the origin, the spellings and pronunciation, English sort of tries to keep these things close to, or as close to the original, as possible. That's why the spellings might sort of be how do you put it, very tricky for language students. Okay, the spellings might be very tricky for language students, and I just realized I was rambling around about the wrong material. Typical ending. All right. Well, so this is Advanced Plus, and we should be talking about not languages there. We should be talking about changing your life. Okay. So this is also an interesting topic. I'm gonna say, change your life rather. Um, so we have a quote here by John Steinberg, U.S. author, and John Steinberg says, or if you like to hear a little background history on who John Steinberg is. So he was one of America's greatest authors of the 20th century, and his books include the Grapes of Wrath and East of Eden, which for which he won a Nobel Prize in Literature in 1962. And I'll read the quote again. The quote goes, "You know how advice is. You only want it if it agrees with what you want it to do anyway." Uh, well, I absolutely agree with this quote because I realize that probably it's just me. I'm not trying to generalize for everybody. Uh, Probably it concerns just me. I seem to always ask people for advice, and even when I do, I sort of ask the people who I believe are going to tell me what I want to hear. Might be true, might not be true, but that's the way I sort of see it sometimes. Or probably I'm just a very persistent person, and that's why it sort of happens the way it does. But anyway, we've got a couple of problems here. Uh, and well, I do agree with that, and I'm not ashamed to agree with that because I believe if I'm two heads are better than one, right? And so most of the times when you're asking for advice, you're just looking for a second opinion. And either ways, you still have to make the decision. You still have to live with the. Uh, you still have to make the decision, and you still have to live with the consequences of your decision. So either you decide to listen to what you've been told, or you decide to not listen to what you've been told. Well, I suppose all the same, it's up to you, right? Because well, that's why you can do it either ways. Anyway, and so yeah, I have a tendency of doing that. Um, don't blame me. Uh, I suppose too harshly. Well, I like to hear how you guys give and how you take advice, how you sort of behave with advice in general, what you do with it, who you ask, who you usually ask. I realize I like talking to my girlfriend about stuff when I sort of have a problem. I know some people might think it's a little I don't know, talking about your problems every time. Well, I think it's I think it's a good way of doing things. Yes, I believe it's a good way of doing things because well, I believe she cares about me and she should help me make the right decisions. Uh, so yeah, that's that. And then I've got some quotes here. I've got some problems here, and we have to see how we react. So the first question we do have is, um, uh, your Wi-Fi isn't working. Right, your Wi-Fi isn't working. Um, uh, and where will you go to get advice for that problem? I suppose we're living in the 21st century, and if you've got any problem with your Wi-Fi, first you try to fix it as a gentleman, and if it doesn't work, then probably you Google it. But if you can't Google it, then you call the service provider, and they should help you fix it. Yeah, I think this is one of those things you might not really ask a girlfriend. Stereotypically, ladies are bad with technology. Don't hate me for it. I'm not a sexist. I'm just saying what I've learned from my own experience. But if you're having problems with your partner, that's a good one. Who should you go to for advice? Well, we have ask a friend, colleague, or family member. Um, uh, my mother's Nigerian, my girlfriend's Belarusian. They're from two different worlds. I think that's not a good idea. Ask a friend or a colleague. Friend or a colleague? No, Belarus is another kind of friends. Ask a friend. Well, I don't know. I think your partner should be your closest friend. But in case you do have another friend closer than your partner, well, you might do fine to just ask them. Look on the internet. Well, it depends on the kind of problem you're having. Read a self-help book, newspaper, or magazine. Well, you can take a look there, but not my wouldn't be my first choice. Phone a helpline or an expert. With the partner problem, well, unless you're phoning a psychologist, I think that's the only reasonable way to fix that. But if you're having a problem with your partner, well, ask your partner, or just talk to your partner. That's it. Well, cool. Why should you ask someone else? It's your partner. No one knows her better than or him better than they do themselves. All right. You have some symptoms and you are worried. You have some symptoms and you that you're worried about. Well, based on the whole corona issue, call your doctor. If you've got one, call your doctor. Don't Google it, all right? Doctor Google is never a friend in need. He will mess you up and make you super paranoid. And if you find that you can't help but googling your problems, well, you need a doctor, a real one. And you want to know the best way to invest the sum of money you've inherited. Okay, now that one you should get some financial um uh, what's the word, consulting. You should get some financial consulting. They should be able to fix you up real good. Um, uh, and that okay. And also, I'd suppose just I think if you inherit some money, you never had the money in the first place, unless you're going through some financial turmoil. Turmoil, by turmoil, I mean difficult situation. You should just put the money on, just put the money in the bank account or invest the money. I think the better way would be to invest the money. But hey, don't listen to me. I'm no billionaire. You can always do whatever you want to do with your own money. But if you ask me, that's my 2 cents on that. And then your 2-year-old child wakes up a lot at night. Well, I've got a little dog and he's 3 years old, so we can compare them. Sorry, little of a joke. But I think what works is sort of I believe that children are like little balls of energy, and you have to exhaust them. I understand you might be in your foot, and you might be middle aged or older, and you might not have strength and power to run around with this little flaming ball of energy. But I think keeping them busy, physically, mentally, knowing what they like, and keeping them busy. Yes, their candles should burn out by midnight, by night time, and also having a strict sort of a regime. I am getting Russianized, uh, and I think a strict sort of regime. Okay, let's check that word. It's embarrassing. So I think the word is regime. Yes, it's also an English word. There you go, Russians. So I think having a strict regime is something that's good. It can always help with that. And also, yeah. And in addition to that, we have a little video here to watch. Let me see if I can share my page with you guys. So, just to reiterate that, a New Year resolution are the plans and promises and sort of steps you set down for yourself at the beginning of the year, for you to sort of things you want to achieve in the year. And interestingly, well, you only have you most people just have a New Year resolution for the first few weeks of New Year. But I hope you're not one of those people.